Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope you got to sleep in at least a little bit. And hopefully, over the last few days, you had a chance to kind of keep up with what's going on with the election. If you're unaware, as of now, it's not really been decided exactly who the winner is going to be. There's still a handful of the states, the battleground states that we talked about over the last few weeks, that are still counting votes. And we really don't know what's exactly going to happen. One thing I've noticed, though, in the last few days, I've seen a lot of people kind of pontificating about the meaning of this election. I've heard a lot of people suggest that what this election and this election map tells us is that we're still a deeply divided country, and that there's significant problems ahead for the United States. But I've also heard a lot of people kind of celebrate the fact that it looks like we're going to have the highest voter turnout that the United States has had in over 120 years, and that, in fact, this is something that we should celebrate. So we don't know what this election is supposed to mean. Different people have different ideas about whether this suggests the country is pulling together or pulling apart. And that, of course, brings us back to your midterm essay. Again, the essay is based around this idea, this question that by the year 1800, what was going on and what had happened throughout U.S. history already by that point that was serving to kind of bind the country together, and what were the things going on that were serving to kind of still pull the country apart. So consider the fact that by 1800, the United States were still a really new country. We had been recognized as independent for 20 years by England, 25 by our own estimation. And throughout the course of throughout the course of world history, a lot of countries have come and gone in fairly short order, and there was no guarantee that the United States was going to be able to hold things together. In fact, when we look at the elections of 1796 and 1800, if you look at the election maps which we have, some people look at those and say, well, that once again proves that we were a divided country. But again, as we've worked through this semester so far, maps can tell a lot of different stories depending upon what information is included. So this essay really is a test of your ability to understand kind of the arc of history, not necessarily to remember one specific person, one specific event, but to see the connections across time. So again, the question is for you to be able to identify the forces throughout U.S. history that have served to pull the United States together, and to identify the historical forces that were still kind of keeping the United States divided. Now, the best essays are the ones that are going to be able to cite really, really specific historical events, ideas, people, movements, and the ability to demonstrate the connections between those events, ideas, and people across a broad span of time. In other words, how did what took place in the early 1600s still have relevance as we get close to 1800? How did what takes place in the 1760s still have an effect on the United States, and how people saw themselves and saw the United States as we approached the turn of the century? Within your essays, you're also going to have to demonstrate that you've improved your ability to read and interpret and analyze primary sources. So you are given 3 primary sources that you can use, and they're all from late in the time period, one from George Washington, one from Alexander Hamilton, and one from Thomas Jefferson. So your task today is, and this is posted in Google Classroom, is to do a write-up of one of the documents that you're going to choose to read. And you're going to be walking through what is the context, tell me about the sourcing, and on the sheet you'll see that there's actually kind of like a sample of what I'm looking for this assignment. The biggest thing, the most important thing is at the bottom is what does this person's ideas have to say that might be relevant to the question. You don't have to agree with them or disagree with them, but as 3 incredibly notable figures from American history, I think it would be relevant to understand how they were thinking about this issue. At the bottom of that sheet is a table that you should really use over the next 4 or 5 days, and especially over the weekend before Monday, to start gathering ideas, to start gathering information that might be relevant to your essay. You do not have to turn that part in. In fact, I would suggest you make a copy and copy that to another document so you can continue to go in and out of it. Good luck with the work today. If you have questions, I will be in and out of email a little bit. Have a good day, and I will see you on Monday.